Hello, everyone. I hope you're all having a fabulous day. Let's head right on into Let's Go Help 2. Oh, whoops, I apologize. I have a setup for what we're going to cover in the beginning of this class. All right, so here we are in Let's Go Help 2. There's been some new activities, so I just click that button. I like to hang out on what's new today unless I'm doing something specific. As we are now, and we're going to head into the Join Us Live collection, into the teaching session space, where you see we are hosting this particular class, and that's in the Events tab. Over one tab for announcements, that's where we'll leave all of your answers today. All right. However, we're going to start off today with some exploratory diving into resources for the country business world, right? The agricultural or rural businesses. And so I keep seeing this email from Google about my website, new reasons prevent pages from being indexed on site collectivelyrewilding.com. And I'm like, what the heck does that mean? Excuse me. Allergies are awful right now. New reason preventing your pages from being indexed. Search Console has identified that some pages on your site are not being indexed due to the following reason. Excluded by no index tag, no index tag, right? So I have no idea what that means, but they said if it's not intentional, then I need to get it fixed, okay? So then I can click on this, and this doesn't mean a whole heck of a lot of anything to me, right? They're saying that more than half of my things aren't indexed, I guess. I really don't know. What are these thousands of things? I have no idea, right? Does anybody out there have any idea before we move on to trying to figure it out?
What happened?
Something is keeping some of my pages for Collectively Rewilding from being displayed on Google.
What?
Yeah. And so I can't figure it out. So I sent it to my SBDC mentor, right? And he said, this one was new to me. It appears to have something to do with the type of page being referenced on your site. Here's what Gemini had to say about it. Excluded by no index tag in Google Search Console means that Google found a no index directive on a specific page and has, as a result, deliberately removed it from its search index. This isn't an error in the traditional sense. It's Google honoring a request from the website owner, something that I have set on my side, not to display that page in search results. Well, I'm guessing that could have something to do with the fact that I'm on Mighty Networks, and initially my platform wasn't public or free, right? So maybe I haven't changed some things over, though I do believe that I had seen some things prior to that. And then what I'm guessing is, have any of you tried to utilize an AI LLM or large language model such as ChatGPT or Gemini, which is the one that I prefer, and had them say, well, I can't access that particular website for some reason something is blocking me, but I have an idea, and here's . Have any of you experienced that?
Yeah.
Okay, so am I, and I'm guessing it might have something to do with things like that, right? This is just a guess. And then so these are some possible options that Google said. Thank you pages after a form submission or purchase, login or user specific pages, duplicate content, staging and development pages that shouldn't be live, right? And then there's information on how to fix it. But I don't understand any of this. So I really barely understand what they're trying to tell me there. So solution, right? Even my SBDC counselor can only give me what Google could have given me to begin with. And I'm very comfortable utilizing the computer. I'm very comfortable utilizing social media, websites. I can build websites. But beyond that, when you start talking code, that's too much. I don't know, right? So this handy dandy little pamphlet that I got probably around 3 years ago, that I've just always kept a hold of because I knew at some point I would be wanting to utilize it. Just like I kept the one book that I did order. You can order one for free. I think you have to pay for shipping and handling. I can't remember. Again, it's been around 3 years, right? And this is Building Sustainable Farms, Ranches, and Communities. through the USDA, right? You've got your little stamp here. And so I've definitely done some work in there and looked through that. My notes are there in the middle of it. And then I also have this list of publications in case I wanted to get something. So like they deal with things like pollinators, hedgerow plants for beneficial insects, things like that are just like, wow, such a big deal to me, right? And so I may choose to get further publications. I have one more piece right here. Oh yeah, and then this is just an explanation of what the NRCS does, right? So these are all my little pieces that I just kind of keep as I get them so that I can reference them later. And even if they're not quite exactly the same, as we tell you things online and in that grant hunting world change constantly, it'll still get me somewhere along that process to where I could get some further information to go further. And so having said all that, I was looking this little pamphlet over to see how much I wanted to cover over in some of my collectively rewilding classes, because it's going, you know, a little bit more into like horticulture crops, livestock management, organic farming. It's great for me to tell you all here in Let's Go Help Too that that is an excellent resource for you to utilize in the agricultural world. However, we're not going to go and talk to them about those horticulture crops, right? That's something more we do in collectively rewilding. And so when I was looking through this to see what I was going to utilize it for, perhaps for in collectively rewilding, I happened to notice, and where's this piece at? Now I have to figure out where it's at again. Okay, I think it's right here. ATTRA services include, and I'll just read them to you, answering questions about specific sustainable farming practices, which is what I'm all about, helping farmers, ranchers, agricultural professionals, and educators, offering toll-free phone assistance service in English and Spanish, hosting a website with more than 400 free publications. Reference my list over here, right? But you can get them for free online all the time. I wanted an actual book. I really love books, if you can't tell. And so then responding to thousands of technical assistance requests each year. And that's what we're going to work with today, as well as present. We're not working with anything else. That's what we're working with, but they also present and organize workshops, seminars, and field tours around the U.S., e-newsletters, providing expert interviews and a national events calendar, and providing on-site technical assistance, right? So we're going to reach out to, looks like my closest NCAT is probably California. It could have been Texas. I'll just try to show you this map here, right? So they only have offices in these dark blue states, right? I mean, it's relatively well spread out. This region here is, they should have something like, maybe right here, that'd be great. Perhaps something in the middle here wouldn't be too bad too, but being in Utah, right? And I'm around that Salt Lake area, so somewhere right around here, California is probably better for me than Texas or Montana. Is that Montana? I believe that's Montana. Yeah, Montana. Okay. And so, and that looks like their headquarters is in Montana, which is interesting. Okay. So let's just find out, right? Like that's the whole point of what we do in these classes, is to show you guys all the different types of ways that you can dig into these resources. So we're going to say Tooele, Utah to Butte, Montana. Okay. It's a 6.5 hour drive. Okay, so I'm just going to write that now on my little reference sheet. 6.5 hours. Okay, next closest, or most likely the closest, is going to be Davis, California. Okay. 9 hours and 29 minutes. Ooh, I'm closer to Montana. I like that. Okay, so not that I don't love California. I love California. A wonderful, wonderful place. Or it was 20 years ago. So that's 9.5 hours. Arkansas is obviously, right? So let's see. That's going to be, I believe, what doesn't, oh, okay. So they have it in Arkansas and Mississippi. So I believe this really close, let's see, here we go. I believe this one is Mississippi, and this one is Arkansas. So they're obviously not going to be my closest. And as I thought California would be closer than Texas, I'm pretty sure actually I get to be lucky and go to their NCAT headquarters, which is so bizarre because they're ATTRA, but they're ATTRA through NCAT, and NCAT is National Center for Appropriate Technology, and ATTRA is about sustainable agriculture, but they say it's ATTRA, the National Sustainable Agricultural or Agriculture Information Service, but that's not what ATTRA, like it's so bizarre. Anyway, okay, so we'll just check though for Texas, and Texas is in San Antonio, Texas. I don't believe there's any other San Antonios. Oh, 21 and a half hours. All righty then. Okay, so our answer is Montana. Okay, so that's really wonderful to know. Now, it is getting on in hours. Let's see if Butte, Montana is in the Mountain Time Zone or the Central Time Zone. Yes, they are in my own time zone. So that's also really substantially wonderful. So I'm going to keep everybody muted and I'm going to go ahead and call them. All right, so that we can all hear what happens. We're going to try this. My phone, I'm down in the basement. I'm in a rural, maybe not quite rural area as we've discussed. And so it doesn't always have the best reception down here. So we will give it a shot though. That's something that I think is a really good demonstration. Reach and just, you found the contact information, just reach out. You know, they do this, they help with technical assistance. I'm having a technical issue. What do I do next? You know, do I email you this email? Oops, let's put it on speaker.
Thank you for calling the National Center for Appropriate Technology. We're sorry that we've missed your phone call. However, if you would like to leave a message with your name, phone number, and reason of your call, we'd be happy to get back with you as soon as possible.
Okay, I may resort to that, and it's not a bad thing to resort to. However, they generally call me back when I'm still sleeping because I work late to work with you guys here, right? Like I have classes that go to, I think, about 10:30 my time, right? So I'm not going to be up early. So first, we're going to do something different. Okay, so we went, oh, I wonder what that is. Let's try 1-800-ASK-NCAT. That's interesting.
Thank you for calling the National Center for Appropriate Technology. We're sorry that we've missed your phone call.
Okay, so that sounds like it just takes you right to, that's their free, right? Like maybe you have minutes or something and you, whatever, I don't know why it even matters very much these days, but that's not going to work. So I'm not going to call California. I'd like to work with my closest office as well as the national headquarters, right? Like you kind of can't beat that. And Montana, Texas, and probably Mississippi are the most agriculturally inclined in my overview of our nation. And so with Montana being, well, California certainly is as well, but not in, there's this so heavily mechanized, right? California has got just so much mechanization to their farming that it doesn't really suit my style of agricultural pursuit. And so what we're going to do next, we have an address here, but I'm really wanting to see if I can't email them. So I'm going to say NCAT, see in there, it's got it right there. Bam, that's nice. Okay, NCAT, and let's see if they have, there's the website. That's great. That's their phone number. Let's just go ahead and go to the website. The National Center for Appropriate Technology has been hit hard by the funding freeze. That's interesting. I'm not so sure about that because Trump's really about technology and the farmers. So I wonder if they're not just tugging on some heartstrings there, but you never know. Okay, so here's where we're talking about. And this is connect. So what does connect mean? That's like kind of like contact, right? Through social media. Don't want to do that. Can subscribe to their headquarters, certainly. Already tried. This is California. This is, okay, so they have the non-headquarters listed here. And so this is the email. That's definitely something that I'm looking more towards. All right, so here's what I want to do. I'm going to start by simply providing my name as well as my business name. And then let me just stop share while I put my email. Or wait, no, what I'll do is I'll share it and then fill out everything else. Okay, so subject, technology, support needed. All right, to whom it may concern. This Band-Aid, guys, I have this Band-Aid and it is just ruining me. I cannot type for crap with this Band-Aid on. So excuse me, I'm worse than normal. Okay, to who it may concern. Thank you for taking the time to read my email. I am in need of technological support for my online business. I am getting error messages from Google that my website pages are under the designation no index. Let me look at our email again here, guys. That's where I had it. Yeah. Okay, it's all lowercase and all together. This is beyond my ability to rectify or even know if it should be rectified. I would appreciate any help that your organization can provide. Thank you. And then I will put my name again and additional contact information, right? So let me just finish that really quickly there. I'm also going to include my website. Okay, and then I just need to throw my email in the top as well. All right. Let me start sharing again, guys. And now all I'm going to do is hit submit, right? Ta-da! Your message has been sent. We'll be in touch soon. So while it doesn't hurt to leave a voicemail message, and for those of you who are going to be up during, more typical business operating hours, right? Go ahead, leave a message. That's a great option. It's just not the best for myself. And it's not surprising they didn't answer. A lot of government offices close at 4:00 p.m., whatever time zone they're in. We're in the same time zone. This class doesn't happen until 4:30 Mountain Time, right? So it makes it a little hard. this is something that I need that I can get free technical assistance for in the most likely situation. I don't think that they're going to either turn me away or tell me that they don't know how to help me. I think that they'll be able to help me decide if I want to correct this or if it's internal pages that really don't need to be indexed, I guess. If they're no index, do they need to have an index or to be indexed? Like, right? I have no idea. So that is one of the types of resources that is out there. And let's face it, well, no, it's not money in the bank, paying off your mortgage or any of these kinds of things to pay for that kind of expertise and to be certain that it will actually be followed through and not just keep costing more money or be inaccurate information, all of these types of things. This is a wonderful, wonderful opportunity. And I can't help but wonder if overall NCAT.org wouldn't help more normal business. Probably not, right? It says just National Center for Appropriate Technology, but that appropriate must mean that it's in connection with like agricultural pursuits, right? Because agriculture technology, to some people, that's a complete conflict of interest. To myself, it's cautiously to be integrated, right? I don't want to eschew completely or deny completely modernization. However, I don't think that a lot of things that they're doing in agriculture as big ag are very healthy for our world. And I think that even within big ag, because I cannot deny the necessity of it based upon the world that we've all built together as a global world, I think there's still better ways that we can move forward. And for that, I'm, always interested in paying attention. And those are the kinds of things that we talk about in Collectively Rewilding, right? And we also are going to be going through some things in Collectively Rewilding like that, where we're making these phone calls because we're going to be talking more about the land end of it. And, we will share those types of resources with you, but it's not about acquiring a grant or a grant-like opportunity. It's more about pursuing becoming a farmer, becoming a rancher, and all those kinds of things. We're going to talk about how to get in touch with my city council here in Tooele, because I want to talk to them about possibly putting a park here before they put an industrial section and some housing and things like that on the other side in this undeveloped land. And you may have goals like that as well. And we can definitely give you the resources for it, but that's not necessarily what we do here in Let's Go Help Too. But this was one that I could bring here that was appropriate for us to utilize like that here. And I wish I could have gotten through with them. Unfortunately, the time frame for this class, and there's always stuff going on earlier as well. So we're kind of constrained there. And so that is how, it doesn't matter what the resources are, that's your process, right? If you can't find the application, you want to look for the contact information. And then you just make that general outreach. I don't really know who I'm talking to. I don't know exactly what it means when they say responding to thousands of technical assistance requests each year, right? I don't know exactly what they mean by that. Do they handle online type technical assistance? Or is it they're going to say, oh no, we really mean that we're talking about, for your tractor or your water pump system or, something like that. So we have to just start making that outreach, making that connection through a phone call, an email, going physically to the offices in some instances, if that's something that some of you like to do, right? Those are all ways that we start working the resources. We're not just looking at the website. We didn't just look at it. We walked through it and found where I could kind of get a hold of someone. I tried to just call. I had the phone number here. That didn't work out. We tried 2 numbers, didn't work out. Found the online contact information, right? And now we can easily go back into that website and start tearing it apart for resources, right? So this is your beginning page. And so ATTRA Sustainable Agriculture, Agriculture Internships, Armed to Farm, that's probably for veterans, Abundant Ogallala, what the heck is that? A biochar policy project, very interesting for those of you know biochar, again, more of a collectively rewilding topic. Climate Beneficial Fiber Partnership, very interesting. NCAT Demonstration Farm, and Soil for Water. Oh my gosh, those are topics that are just so beyond fascinating to me. Those don't seem to be resources, however, right? And so let's continue to just kind of look through and see either an energy efficiency grant for creating one. This may not end up being what I want it to be, but then that, if it's not, and it could be still, right? They have their website. They may be able to help me with this. Absolutely. But if they're not, that's when I say, okay, no problem. Can I ask, with such a small venture as mine, just starting and this and that and the other thing and tell them my story and etc., is there any kind of program that you do offer that works with someone in my situation? And if there's a yes, awesome. And even if there's a yes, and definitely if there's a no, all right, well, do you know of any other or any programs that do, right? Like if they still would work with me, I still want to say, okay, wonderful. Thank you so much for all this that you do. Do you know of any other programs that work with people like me as well, so that I could reach out to them and start interacting and starting a dialogue with them? And if it's no, okay, thank you so much for your time. I completely understand. Do you possibly know of any types of institutions, programs, or organizations that might work with someone like myself, right? So that is a really good bird's eye view of how we work the resources and what it looks like and the kinds of language that I choose to utilize during those things. And you don't need to make it my language. You need to make it a comfortable language for you, but you want to be clear and you want to be relevant and you want to be concise, which means you don't want to just go on and on and on. You want to keep it into like a bullet point list. Get the important information to them, smile at them with your voice, tell them thank you, and then say, do you work with anybody doing these types of things? Or do you have help for anybody with these kinds of problems? Or if you don't like the word help, when someone's in these types of situations, are there any programs that work with them to get out of these types of bad situations or uncomfortable shoes or, whatever you say as a person, but that's the process. So does anybody have any questions about how that process works, about what you saw, about how you might utilize it somewhere else, anything at all? Go ahead and just unmute yourselves. Not a huge audience today. All right. So that was just my little piece that I wanted to share with you all. Really a lot of different types of resources out there that can either save you money in such a way like this, right? If I can get that free technical assistance, since I've already reached out to one free resource, my SBDC mentor, he could provide the information from Google, but that's still kind of going above my head. So I reached out to ATTRA. But don't get me wrong, guys. I can still go back to my SBDC mentor and I can say, okay, I tried a couple of different ways. I looked over what you sent. This is really above my head. Is there anyone that you know of in the SBDC that might be able to help me get this figured out if I even want these pages indexed or if it's good that they're no index, right? So that's still a source that I can go back to try again. Then I can go in and I can try a variety of other ways to find technical assistance for free. And of course, my SBDC mentor is a great resource to try to find additional resources if ATTRA can't provide the assistance that I need. All right. So let's go ahead and open up the floor. Does anybody have any questions about rural living or business or about pets, country living and business plus pets? Anything on topic for class today? Yes, please. Is it Ken or is that Kendez?
It's Kendez.
Okay, and so do you prefer Ken? You know what? You throw me for a loop. You make me remember a lot of names.
I have a lot of different faces. So like as far as like technical assistance is like can you get like any type of technical assistance? Like if it's involving like say like a business website or like general and computer type of stuff or anything like that?
I do believe that there is. I don't know right offhand. We're starting to stray into the area of the business resources that I'm not quite as familiar with. So let's just jump in since we haven't left any answers yet today. We're just going to jump into the Help Now corner, Unlock Your Goals collection. Still the Unlock Your Goals collection, but that wasn't necessarily clear to people who are brand new coming in the community and they have like maybe an emergency or really pressing, not necessarily a goal, more like a challenge, it didn't speak to them as clearly. So Help Now corner, unlock your goals. We're going to jump into the Start My Business space. And so for technology assistance, let's look at contact these 10 key organizations first. These are things that Matthew put here. Training programs to grow, Apex accelerators is more like working with the government from my understanding. The SSCCI is more about funding, career one stop, learn new skills. EDFI, no. Match savings grants, veteran-owned business assistance, right? If someone is a veteran, they would certainly want to start looking through resources that are offered for veteran-owned businesses for it. And then you have minority and women-owned businesses and support, but this is just grant.gov, so that's not really what I'm looking for, even though I am a woman, of course, yes. Meetup.com, again, not great resources, all of them, right? But not what I'm specifically looking for at the moment. I'm already working with the SBDC, and I will continue to work with him if I can't work with ATTRA, right? So one of these did actually provide further assistance towards it, and these are all wonderful places. There are some places like careeronestop.org. If I get to a point where I might have employees for my business, I would definitely be reaching out to them, right? If you have money and you want to get a loan or you want to put together a matched savings grant account, right? Like there's a lot of great options in here, just not to what I'm looking for. So I can either X out and see them all as a grid again, or I can scroll down here on this side. And so let's just do that. So these are your first legal steps to start a business. That's not really what we're talking about. Federal and local support for small business owners. That's kind of more open-ended, not necessarily just for farmers and ranchers and agriculture, right? So let's check out what we've got in here. So this is just a list of federal small business offices. So let's go ahead and check that one out. Okay.
Doesn't Amber like own like a computer repair type of deal? I don't know if she only does like art.
I really don't know what she does for her business, right? She talks to us about government contracts and things like that. So I'm not exactly sure what her computer business is about. All right, so what we're going to do, and let's see if it goes to next page and next page. No, okay, it doesn't look like it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Control F, Control Frank, Control Find, or on a MacBook and things, it's Command F, Command Find, and I'm going to type technical. Oh, not a single one. Interesting. Okay. Let's just scroll through here really quick, and I'm just kind of speed reading just a teeny bit of what each thing is so that I can see if there's anything that might have value for this particular venture. So the U.S. Department of Agriculture, the USDA, right? But kind of already working a little bit with that, sort of. So let's go ahead and we're just going to open that one in a new tab. And then the U.S. Department of Commerce, it's possible that could have resources along those lines. So let's open that. Not the Department of Energy or Education, Health or Human Services, any of these. No, no. U.S. Office of Personnel Management, Office of Small and Disadvantaged Business Utilization. I really don't know what that means. So it's not going to let me click there. So we click here, open link in new tab, and then the U.S. Postal Service. Okay, so there were a few here that might have value. Let's check this one out. Okay, so more for like open-ended for you, Ken does. That's Let's take off this last little bit and then Control X. So I still have that part copied, and then I'm going to hit enter and see if I can get there like this. Wow. So does this place not exist anymore? Okay. So this is our second opportunity that we checked out. U.S. Department of Commerce. Gotta still have a website. Okay, so let's just say U.S. Department of Commerce. U.S. Department of Commerce. Okay. That's how when things switch, right? Because that was straight off of a government website. They don't have the right website listed. That's how you get back on track, guys. Okay. I don't think this is going to have any help for us, but let's just kind of look over money and credit. Interesting, of course. All topics and services, not so much. We're at USDA.gov. Interesting. The U.S. Department of Commerce does not have its own website anymore. Is that what I'm like learning? Wait, hold on. Let's click this. See what that does. Aha! Now we're where we really want to be. Okay. About issues, news, data, work with us, bureaus and office, contact us. Okay, so the mission of the department is to create the conditions for economic growth and opportunity for all communities. Well, I need help with that. So I wonder, I mean, that seems to me like it could kind of fall under that purview, right? And so I don't see anything else that seriously stands out to me. So I would contact them, mailing address, if you're a member of the media, freedom of information, fraud, waste, or abuse, feedback, Commerce Research Library, contact information for commerce, I cannot say that word, bureaus and agencies, economic analysis, industry security, Census Bureau, Economic Development Administration. National Institute of Standards and Technology. But I believe that's kind of above what I really need. National Technical Information Service. Okay, so we're going to pull up both of those. So the National Institute of Standards and Technology. And so when I say by what I need, by what I went outside the agricultural world, so it could be more than just what I need for a similar type of a concern, right? And so then you have National Technical Information Service, the NTIS, open link in new tab. National Telecommunications and Information Administration. Kind of pushing it, right? Now let's go check out what those websites say. Or suite of services. See that? If you want to learn more about the NTIS, let's get in touch for general inquiries about the mission, subscriptions, partnerships, or suite of services. Please reach out to, and so then we would be sending another email, right? Business opportunities, joint venture partnerships, technical reports library, goodness, limited access death master file certification, subscriptions. And so it looks like that would probably be your best bet or my best bet. Click that. What does it do? Nothing. Okay, so that's when you just want to copy it. They used to work where they would pull up your email address, but I've noticed that that has not been the case. And so would you like this information, Kendez, or were you just kind of exploring along with me?
I mean, I wouldn't mind it, but yeah, I was mainly exploring.
Okay.
Trying to.
So this is, if you had technical assistance, this place might be able to either provide some or point you in a direction towards it, right? So let's go actually over here and go back into help now corner, unlock your goals. Oops, no, that's not where we are, silly me. We are in teaching sessions and join us live. And okay. All right, there we go. So this is the contact information for possible technical assistance. Oops. And we have that.
Nice.
Yeah, for sure. This is where we're at. And then, no, we were over here, but let me actually, now I know what I wanted to provide in addition and I already have it. So then in the comments, I will provide the email address. There we go. Now, contact us. That's where we were, right? No, we're here. Wow, I don't remember seeing this. This must be something else that we pulled up. NIST contacts for the news media, but I deliberately didn't click anything with news media. All right, so that's not really useful for us. X out of that. This is where we stopped for the other section. All right, so then we can X out of that because we got it. 404, page not found. U.S. Office of Personnel Management, agency services, and they want you to click. Okay. Federal agencies meet their missions. I do not believe this is for us at all. Okay. Let me just see what this say. Retirement, right? What does that mean? Apply for retirement online. Wow. Leaving the government. So yeah, this is just going to be for people that work for the government. So we're going to X out of that. We got as far as we were going to get here.
What does it mean to leave the government? I guess that's like employment.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Okay. And again, I think this is more towards like management for the USDA, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so we're going to X out of that one. So this is where we started. And so those offices were not of a tremendous amount of use to us. So then we go back over here and you have the National Small Business Portals. You have USA.gov Small Business Portal, as well as certifications through the SBA. So let's go to the USA.gov Small Business Portal and let's search technical assistance. Okay, Administration for Native Americans, National Institute of Corrections, Legal Services, A through Z Index of U.S. government departments and agencies, grant funds, training, and technical assistance to civil legal aid programs.
Alright.
Okay, so those are separated there. Technical assistance through financial. I don't think that's where we just were. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So for our technical assistance, we're not finding a lot of great stuff already here. Let me just look it over. Okay. Over here, we're not really looking for grant funding per se right now. We're doing something kind of different. Let's go to federal government resources for small businesses. Gam.gov and grants.gov are excellent, but that's still not really the kind of thing that we're support for minority, women-owned, and disadvantaged businesses, but that's the Department of Energy, Department of Labor, National Institute, Innovative. This is the SBIR and the STTR, so it's more into like technology, but this is too far above. This is like for people that are inventing technology, from my understanding, right? I'm not doing government contracting. Okay, so this is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful space, guys, but it didn't necessarily have what we wanted. So we're going to go to Gemini. Okay. And now let's get all these toolbars out of the way so that we can interact a little bit better with platform. Can you please list all open resources, available resources providing free or low cost technological assistance for small businesses? Okay, let me read through that again. Yep, I'm happy with that. All right, so boom, let's see what Gemini has for us. SBIR. Okay. Nonprofits and public libraries. Collectively Rewilding has a nonprofit element though, so that's actually something that I might be able to use, right? But not everyone can, except that they said that some of their services may be relevant, and their offerings can include discounted software, hardware, and IT support services. So it's definitely something that's a possibility, right? Tech impact, services and training for technology, consulting, cybersecurity, strategic technology planning for nonprofits and other mission-driven organizations. So their services may not be free. They are tailored to be affordable for the nonprofit sector. Various corporate and foundation grants, the Freed Fellowship Grant. I don't need money at this point, right? I need an answer. Money's great. I'll always take the money. Some tech companies like Notion offer free or discounted access to their services for a limited time for new businesses. So no, not great, but these here are not bad. Oops, let's get the right element. Various corporation and foundation grants. I guess when it says many large companies and foundations offer small business grants that can be used for technology upgrade software or equipment. So if you needed technological help, perhaps it could apply for that, right? So we'll go ahead and we'll grab this. Okay. Because we talk all the time about the SBDC and SCORE, and when I looked over the SBA's resources initially, there wasn't anything that strikes me from my memory of being like technology assistance, right? Not exactly what they do. They offer it through their affiliates, yes, but not necessarily what they do directly. So let's add that on here. Definitely some interesting stuff there. So I just seem to, now, of course, things have changed a lot recently, right? It just seems like there were options for technology assistance that I'm not running across. And I am a little bit frustrated by it, but that's why you just always keep looking, because I do believe that were I not here with you all, leading you through what I'm doing, and I could just sit here for a couple of hours and just tear through several different places, I think I could probably figure out a way to provide further options beyond what we've already walked through, right? So ATTRA, the NTIS, TechSoup, Tech Impact, various corporation and foundation grants, meaning the Freed Fellowship Grant, Intuit QuickBooks and MailChimp Small Business Hero Program, and Verizon Small Business Digital Ready Program, right? So that's a lot of information to try to find technical assistance, not to mention that there were possibly additional options for farmers and ranchers if we were to take that specific perspective, right?
Mm.
So, any questions, anybody? Ken Des, anyone? And did you want to be called Ken? Ken Des? Do I get to change it? Can I call you Community Cash? Like, you know? What's your preferred moniker?
Oh, probably Candace. That's because if you call me Ken,
It's a really
probably...
cool name, right? I like it. So, okay. So anything more from you, Candace, or anyone else here with us today about anything that we talked about? Country living, business, pets? Anything, guys? Anything? Going once? Going twice? Oh, all right. So let's check out our calendar. We have, this is our busy Thursday, right? Every other week is a little bit busy. And so you have tea with the Let's Go Trio coming up. In fact, if you don't hopefully get too upset with me, I need to send out the notifications for that really quickly. This is my tightest one of the week, and it's really hard to remember that I need to do this. So let me just jump into area here and send out at least one notification for them, and then we'll shut down class and I'll send out the other two for you all. Okay. Yay. All right, so back to our calendar. You have the Tea with the Let's Go Trio, Tammy, Ethel, and Amber coming up in 24 minutes, right? Wherever you are, that will be 4:45 p.m. Pacific, 5:45 p.m. Mountain, 6:45 p.m. Central, and 7:45 p.m. Eastern. And tonight it will be Miss Teresa and Miss Charity. They're going to cover for Michelle there. And then I will be back with you guys tomorrow for action plan for your nonprofit at 2:30 p.m. Pacific, 3:30 Mountain, 4:30 Central, and 5:30 Eastern. And you're also welcome to join me tonight after everything shuts down here in Let's Go Help too for a garden Q&A. If that's what you like to do, come and join us in Collectively Rewilding, and you can find all of that information in the Join Us Live teaching session space in the replays of Country Living and Business, if it will jump over there, right? Scroll down to here, open that up, and free lifetime membership for the Let's Go Help community. Jump right in there and join us for free and talk about your garden or your garden woes, right? All right, guys. I hope you all have a wonderful evening, and I hope to see you tomorrow and all the excellent classes in between. Please feel free to unmute and say good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody. See you in the next class. Bye, Sabrina.
Oh, good night, everyone.
Good night. I'll see you later.
Bye, Benny.
Yes, alligator.
See you later.
And Kendra and Sean. I don't know if I've gotten to ever work with you, Sean. You'll have to speak up next time so we can work together. Bye, guys. Bye, Vanessa.